Yes, folks, Israel Folau is in the dog box again. Once again, he's been targeted for some so-called hate speech. But in my estimation, folks, anyone who gets targeted by our left-wing media is probably right, or at least a decent person. So let's see what he's been up to.
The future of one of Australian rugby's biggest stars is in the air tonight over a homophobic social media post condemned as hate speech.
Stop it right there. It's not hate speech. If it were hate speech, he would have been arrested and charged by now. And Instagram allowed his post, so it's clearly not hate speech.
Israel Folau has doubled down on similar comments he made a year ago, in which he warned homosexuals and others will go to hell. He's now being investigated by Australian Rugby's Integrity Unit, but some are calling for his immediate ban from the game. Ross Carl explains.
Rugby Australia is again tackling the fact its biggest star is also its highest profile problem. Last night, Israel Folau posted a meme saying,
So this is what he posted. Warning, drunks, homosexuals, adulterers, liars, fornicators, thieves, atheists, idolaters. Hell awaits you. Repent. Only Jesus saves. And they're getting their knickers in a twist over this? It's unbelievable. But you may have noticed, folks, that there's been no backlash from the idolaters, the atheists, the thieves, the fornicators, the liars, the adulterers and drunks. There's been no backlash by them, but there's only been backlash by homosexuals and the supporters of homosexuals, the new victim group, the new protected class, owned by the left for the sole purpose of votes. Now, folks, I'm not a religious person and I don't agree with this stuff, but I do respect Christianity and all the good things it's done, and I do respect Israel Folau's right to free speech. But what is the media not telling you about the story? They're not telling you why he posted this. Now, he posted this because he's opposed to Tasmania making gender optional on birth certificates. So now parents don't have to put male or female on their children's birth certificates. Their children can decide later. Now, folks, that is simply child abuse, and Israel Folau is opposed to that.
Homosexual people, along with a list of others he considers sinners, have hell awaiting them.
Israel Folau, what a player!
It means Rugby Australia's 3-time Player of the Year is causing them trouble again, and they issued a statement reading, "The content within the post is unacceptable. It does not represent the values of the sport and is disrespectful to members of the rugby community. The Rugby Australia Integrity Unit has been engaged on the matter." Last year, after a similar post, Folau stood his ground on his beliefs but agreed to tone down his approach.
Israel acknowledged that maybe he could have put the positive spin on that same message and done it in a less disrespectful way.
Because Folau knows he could get into trouble for the post, former Wallabies hooker Jeremy Paul is suspicious.
We all know what his beliefs are. We all understand he's very religious, but I just don't understand what he's...
Does he want to get sacked?
New Zealand Rugby has been dragged into it too. All Blacks flanker Vi Fifita liked the Instagram post. We asked New Zealand Rugby, which has the rainbow tick for inclusivity of diverse identity and sexual orientation, for comment. Instead of responding to Fifita's like, they said, New Zealand Rugby does not share the views expressed by Israel Folau, as they do not represent the values of rugby. However, we understand that people have their own views and beliefs, which we believe should be expressed in a respectful manner.
In a respectful manner, in other words, speak the way we speak.
Fifita is one of Folau's 314,000 Instagram followers, and New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Arden is concerned at the Wallabies' influence.
I'm particularly mindful as well, young people who
members of our rainbow community. There's a lot of vulnerability there. And so, yeah, as I say, I totally disagree with what he said and the way he's using his platform.
The way he's using his platform. Well, I also disrespect the way you're using your platform to denigrate him, to silence his speech. Now, folks, I also don't agree with gay marriage, and I also don't agree with this gender-bending nonsense. And the reason is simple. Children have been left out of this equation. Their rights have not been heard. They've been completely ignored. Have a look at this.
Well, our next guest, Katie Faust, serves on the Academic and Testimonial Council of the International Children's Rights Institute. As you heard in Tom Eagleton's story, she's a fierce opponent of same-sex marriage, despite being raised by same-sex parents and describing her mother as a loving gay parent. She's in Canberra to lobby against same-sex marriage. Katie Faust joins us now from Parliament House. Thanks for being there.
Thanks so much for having me.
Have you actually managed to speak to any Australian politicians yet?
We did. My partner in crime, Millie Fontana, who is a resident of Melbourne and also raised by two mothers, and I had a chance to speak with a couple members of Parliament yesterday.
Not the Prime Minister so far?
No, he hasn't called yet.
Now, how is it that the daughter of lesbian mothers has become a leading opponent of gay marriage? How does that work?
Well, simply because I recognize that while my mother was a fantastic mother, and most of what I do well as a mother myself, I do because that's how she parented me, she can't be a father. Her partner, an incredible woman, both of these women have my heart, cannot be a father either. Children have a right to be in relationship with their mother and father whenever possible. And as a society, we shouldn't normalize a family structure that requires children to lose one or both parents to be in that household.
Yes, and she's absolutely correct. Yes, folks, Katie Faust is absolutely correct there. Children have a right to a mother and a father. And whether you like it or not, Israel Folau has a right to free speech.